You purposely cut the trees so they'll come down low like this?
Yeah.
Apple trees?
If you read in the owner's manual, at the very beginning, the Creator tells us what He made us for. He says, let them have dominion over everything we made. He created us to be the stewards of this earth, to care for it. If you look at these trees, you look at my hand up here, you see where my hand is? You see the height of those trees? My sense was that these trees are here to serve me, not me them. And I'm not using a ladder. Now if you look at these trees, if you just look at their overall state of being, they look very humble. They're all bowed over because I have dominion. They're serving me. You know, it's so awesome. I can reach everything. Everything's accessible. Nothing's out of reach. I can, you know, it's just so convenient. If you go to orchards, you got to climb into the trees. You're being poked by branches. Everything's out of reach. You're using ladders. This is stupid when I think about it. Why make it hard for yourself? And see, when a branch comes up to this height, I prune the one going out. As the branches go out and fruit develop, the weight bends them over. It's called gravity. It works well. And so this is all what happened just naturally. I didn't bend anything over. I didn't put any weights on it. Just the weight pulls them down, you know, because it can. So it's so simple. Now cherry trees, you can't keep them small. That's why it's not my orchard. This is only 10 years old, you know, 18 years old. Look at the size of it. Now I use a 10-foot ladder. I try to maintain the top, but they get big. You can't keep them small. But these are dwarf trees.
What do you do about the birds?
The birds, there's plenty for all of us. See, when you have abundance, there aren't issues. There really isn't. There's plenty for everyone. Now I want you to notice as we walk through, we're going to walk through the orchard over here. For those of you who are gardeners and are growing food, I want you to pay attention to the leaves and the volume of squash on these squash that are growing under my trees. They're actually, you see that squash there hanging out of my tree? That's actually in the tree hanging over. And I want you to really get the significance and power of this soil. And this has never been watered or fertilized. And went through this summer where we had 70 days of no rain, and it looks like this. It is wow. It's just, I'm telling you, having gardened for 62 years and working so hard to fail, watering, fertilizing, wearing out shovels, using tillers, and seeing this, it just blows me away. Does anybody grow parsnips? Let me show you a parsnip over here that planted itself. You're going to blow your mind when you see the size of it. And what's hilarious is under my tree. You know, you look at this. I mean, it's just the size of the leaves. Look how it's just growing up in the tree. You know, it's just.
What kind of apples are they?
This one here is a Melrose.
Melrose?
Melrose. This one.
Is that what this one is too?
No, this one here is a Honeycrisp. Don't touch them.
That's a honeycomb?
Honeycrisp is the most amazing keeper on the planet.
It's a good keeper?
It keeps for a whole year, and I don't even touch these until like June next year in my cooler. But these are like the most awesome apple, man. Just like I say, they're just so amazing, so incredible. But they store better than any. I've had them last for an entire year. We're talking like the next year ones. I still have ones in my cooler. They're so good. They keep the best keeper I've ever encountered. I have a walk-in cooler that I run at 28 degrees, 20 to 32. That's below freezing. You know why they don't freeze? Because there's big fans that's moving the air. And at that temperature, nothing changes. When you keep something that cold, it doesn't change. And I feel so thankful. I'm eating an apple every morning the entire year. Wow. I feel so, you know, apple day keeps, I think an apple is a king fruit. Remember the old adage, an apple day keeps the doctor away? I just think it's so awesome to have live apples the entire year. It's just like, I feel so blessed.
Paul?
Yes?
One time you were talking about if you have a freezer that you're keeping your apples in, to do something to it, take the lid off or something?
No, if you're storing food, like dehydrated food, where I live, the air is damp. It's very damp here. And if you're storing it in a building, they're going to rot. You know how you can keep that from happening? First thing I want to tell you is if you own a frost-free freezer, refrigerator, you're dehydrating all of your food, and you should never have it. All the food in your freezer in a frost-free is being totally dehydrated. All your meat, all that stuff you like, has no water content, because in a frost-free freezer, it's sucking all the water out of it. And so what you do, I have a place where I store all my food. I have a freezer with the door off, with a timer, and it comes on 3 times a day. And you look outside this little tube, water is dripping all the time, because it's pulling water out of the air and getting it out of my building. So a freezer that gets frost, your food's not dehydrated. If it is frost-free, your food is grossly dehydrated, because it's pulling all the moisture out of the food. You see, all these things that we do for our conveniences, when you really start looking at them, you realize, man, they're major counterproductive, not good for us. Now look at this awesome parsnip under here. Look at the size of this thing. And see, this seeded itself. I didn't plant it. But look at the base. When you come by here, you can see how big that base is. Look, you see it's out here. Look at how big. And that thing goes down probably a foot. But look at the size of that thing. And you look at the color of the foliage. Look how big. This is under my tree. In a place you think nothing would grow. But you look at this mass. You look over there, all this squash everywhere growing in here. And this is spaghetti squash. Look how many is in there, you know. And just everyone, look over here, man. It's growing up in the tree. This is September, and the thing's still blooming. Look at that, flowers. They're acting like we're not going to stop producing because we don't know how. As you walk by my apple trees here, I want you to look at the tips and observe all the brand new, totally brand new growth coming off. Look at that. Tiny little buds coming out. In September, at the end of September, when they should be going dormant. And this is without water or fertilizer. I'm just telling you, I don't know about you, but having done this my whole life, doing all the hard stuff and seeing this, it's just awesome. As you walk by, you see these squash hanging in my tree. Look at that, it's just hanging up in the tree.
So the chips don't need to get replenished, huh?
Here's the thing about replenishing chips. When you first start, you're going to find, because your ground is hungry, they break down really quick and you got to replenish constantly. This is 38 years, and what I'm finding, because I have this major foundation built, my soil is very satisfied, I'm adding hardly ever now because I have this amazing condition. And here's what I so love about the Creator. You know, in the Owner's Manual, he gives you instructions. It says, it's good for a man or woman to bear the yoke in their youth. What he's saying up front is, if you work hard up front to do it right, as you get older, it'll carry you. I want you to get this. You see how I get around. I'm moving very slowly. You see the size of this place. And I'm maintaining it because it's not any work. And it's carrying me. This thing is producing far more food than it ever has, and I'm doing 100% less work. It's so awesome. And I love how it's designed that way. If you do it right up front. Well, these poor farmers today, you got to imagine how this is affecting their psyche. They're spending more and more each year to produce less and less. That's got to do something to your psyche. Your investment is not increasing, it's decreasing at a constant level. And you're getting older and wanting this thing to carry you, you're realizing it's not, because it's not working. Where this blows my mind, man. It's just like every year, like, can I get less, please? You know, it's too much. I prune my trees when it's convenient. Because I'm learning, now that I'm getting older, that convenience is really cool. It's a great way to live. So in January, there's no lawn to mow, there's no garden to take care of, and all the leaves are out of my trees. And they're very accessible. So that's when I prune. Again, convenience. It's just, if you just connect dots, it's just, and what I'm loving about that is that when I was young and doing stuff by the bait, I'd come out every April. My garden is standing water and I'm tilling and all this mud, just fighting it. 7 to 10 days, it's solid green with weeds, I'm back again. And I'm just stressed, constantly. And it's not doing that good. Now, when I get around to it, I do it. If I don't, I don't. Who cares? It's fine. And I'm so enjoying living at that level. It's just so much easier on life. Stress is the hardest thing on the human body. It's the hardest thing on the human body, stress. It's incredible what it does to us. And most of us, a lot of us, live at that level. And it's completely unnecessary, not by design, not intentional. Well, here's what's hilarious. I've never done it before because I was told I couldn't. And some woman came on a tour and said I can because she's doing it over here at Hood Canal Bridge. So she sent me some seed. I planted it normally like I do in May. Nothing came up because it was so wet. I planted these watermelon in July. I'm being real. July thinking like I'm going to do it because I have the seed, but no way. And I'm having stuff over there getting ready to eat. I'm flipping out like, you gotta be kidding. July in Western Washington planting watermelon and getting it. And I'm looking at this sky and as we may have nice weather through October, this stuff isn't gonna end. It's just awesome.
So it hasn't ripened yet? You haven't had
Well, I'm not eating it because I want to wait till a frost because see when you wait for a frost it's hardened off and then you're good. So I want to get all the good I can get. So I'm going to wait till I get it first. I'm going to be on it, eating it, man, because it's going to be... I just know the flavor of that is going to be over the top because of the nutrient quality.
Do you ever save the seed?
I save all my seed.
Save all your seed?
And I'll tell you why. The stuff you're buying, even though it's heirloom, is not growing in this environment. And I'll tell you, I bought some cucumber seeds from an heirloom company. I'm not going to mention it because I want to badmouth them because they're good. I planted a row, 3 came up.
Yeah.
I went and planted my seed, the whole row came up. And I got the reality of nutrient density. They're organic and they're heirloom, but they're not growing in this. The soil they're growing in was deficient, and because of that, the seed was deficient. So I encourage you, once you start growing food, collect your own seed because it's going to be better than what you can buy. And then it's acclimated. This is where it lives. It's not coming from across the country, so it's more in tune to where it's supposed to be. So always correct your own seed because nature doesn't import seeds. It just plants right where it is. Again, if you go to nature, the answer is so simple. So up front, you may have to import something, that you don't have, but once you have it, collect your own seed.
So if we got a tomato that just actually came up on its own this year, do I just take a tomato and
Yeah, open it up and get the seeds out. Let them dry, and you're good.
that's it? And then just
And if you don't do it, if you leave it on the ground, it'll do it by itself.
So rotation of plants isn't an issue?
Rotation of plant is the most counterproductive thing you can do. Because when you have convenient places to grow stuff, why move?
Right.
And in nature, nothing's rotated. And I've been growing stuff in the same place for 30 years. And they're doing great. Same space. Because it's a convenient place. They like it here. Why move them? Again, it's so simple. And so of course. And why do we do this dumb stuff?